Greetings. When you first meet someone, either in a professional situation or a personal one, how do you introduce yourself? Is it the typical exchange of names, perhaps followed by what you do as a vocation, what your job is? I've often pondered the nature of self-definition relative to that idea of first impressions and introductions. And of course, we know that even beyond the surface level verbal exchanges, that there's all kinds of other subconscious stuff going on. Every time two auras come together, magic happens. Have you ever had someone introduce themselves as an INFJ 6-2 role model hermit manifesting generator whose life work is nourishment and their purpose is revelation? I expect this would be out of the norm for most people, especially upon the first meeting. But I'm inspired by the idea of it. To me, it would be a meaningful introduction. Presenting our human design credentials is a way that the world could make a quantum leap in terms of how our society works. At least that's some INFJ dreaming for you. And it is the intended focus of this transmission. I'm connecting with you to share 3 modalities that I've experienced that could change your life forever for free today. So first up, and I'm presenting these in the order that I received them in my own experience. I think there may be some value in taking a look at them in that same order. The first modality is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which is a questionnaire indicating different preferences in how people perceive the world and make decisions. The test assigns 4 categories: introversion or extroversion, sensing or intuition, thinking or feeling, judging or perceiving. 1 letter from each category is taken to produce a 4-letter result, like INFJ or ENFP, and that represents your type. The 4 letters also speak to 4 cognitive functions at work in your being. So in my case, the INFJ cognitive stack includes primarily introverted intuition, extroverted feeling, introverted thinking, and extroverted sensing. And don't worry if your eyes are already crossed at your initial response to what that could mean. But rest assured that once you're armed with this knowledge, what your cognitive stack is, how you function, there's a wealth of information out there for either casual, occasional contemplation or intense focus about your specific type and how you work. So meeting this modality first, I found it to be revelatory in terms of validating my natural way of being and thinking, and I hope it would be for you too. It has also been tremendously helpful for me in the realm of relationships and compatibility. So different MBTI types are more compatible with one another than others based on your cognitive stack. Note that the MBTI is a subjective modality, especially when you receive your type based on one of these online questionnaires. You're encouraged to answer as truthfully as you can about yourself, but it is essentially you mirroring yourself back to yourself. The self-reflection, though, can lead to self-contemplation and self-growth over time. When you know what your cognitive stack is, you know what your strengths are, and that also gives you an opportunity to cultivate and develop the cognitive functions that aren't so high on your specific list. The next 2 modalities, on the other hand, represent a mirroring back to you that is more objective. That is to say, the results that come back to you are not based upon your subjective answers to questions. Upon entering your birth date and time, these 2 modalities offer you a snapshot of the universal energy that is you. Physicists and metaphysicians are learning, or perhaps remembering, more and more about the neutrino streams and the Akashic field that exists at the subtle levels throughout the entire universe. We're also just piercing the surface of understanding our genetic code, and through the field of epigenetics, we're learning that our code can be influenced and continues to evolve during the course of our lifetime. In each second, it is said that up to 6 trillion tiny little neutrinos of light are moving through your body. And during that period of time that you were in your mother's womb, that energy was at work in the programming of your DNA to make you who you are. So these two systems, beginning with the human design system, is a synthesis of ancient and modern sciences that is proven to be a valuable tool for human understanding. With human design, you discover what makes you different from everyone else. It offers profound insights into your psychology, along with strategies and techniques for making correct decisions for you, and ultimately, it leads you to a life of more ease and fulfillment. By visiting jovianarchive.com and entering your birth date and time, you receive a free body graph that looks something like the one on the screen. And the body graph indicates the 9 energy centers in the body with 64 energetic gateways and 36 channels where energy moves in and out of your body. Based upon your specific design, you're also offered information on your decision-making strategy and authority in life, and insight on the themes of your life experience. With your body graph in hand, you can take as deep a dive as you would like to in terms of seeking out more information on your specific energy. There's tons of material out there, books on Amazon, videos on YouTube, obviously. It's even popping up in my Pinterest feed in the morning these days. And the third modality is the Gene Keys synthesis by Richard Rudd, and it complements the human design system nicely. The Gene Keys is a grand synthesis of practical wisdom to help guide you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your true potential. Like a precious treasure map, the Gene Keys it represents a journey of self-discovery to find the true higher purpose and meaning in your life. So by entering your birth date and time at genekeys.com, you receive access to a free hologenetic profile that offers profound insights into the themes that you may be bumping up against. The profile includes 3 main sequences: the Golden Path sequence, which relates to your overall life's work, your evolution, then your radiance, and finally your purpose in life. The second sequence is the Venus sequence, which offers profound insight into your relationships, your karma, and your dharma. And finally, your Pearl sequence, which relates to manifesting your highest potential of your specific genius. Each of the spheres in your hologenetic profile represents a gene key, and Richard Rudd's companion book, The Gene Keys, and he has several other companion books that you can get along with the Gene Keys volume, offers deep insight for the contemplation of each of those themes. And it's presented to you each of the 64 gene keys is presented in a spectrum with 3 frequency bands, from the shadow frequency to the gift frequency, and then ultimately to the Siddhic level, or the highest expression of that theme. So every human being, I believe, can benefit from the insight offered by these 3 modalities, and there's enough within them to contemplate for more than a lifetime. Within just a few hours, you'll have in your hands the human design credentials so that you could introduce yourself to others in a really powerful and meaningful way. Rather than just telling someone what your name is, you can tell them who you really are. To me, it's fascinating to contemplate that there's no one design that's better or more important than any other. each person and each person's energy is specific and on purpose. And these modalities can be tremendously useful as an indicator for how you authentically serve the world. They're also transformative. Once you come to understand exactly who and what you are, then you're free to identify opportunities for growth and evolution. From a social perspective, when we start identifying ourselves in these ways, I feel we'll find that the more superficial aspects of who we are and how we relate to one another, like gender and skin color and social status, they all start to fade into the background of the collective. It's only through self-understanding and the science of differentiation that we can all find true and lasting unity. I think this is a paradox that we should embrace. In an age of homogenization and generalization, these three modalities can serve each individual in finding their specific place as a part of the whole. Those of us that commit to investing our time and energy into knowing ourselves at this level are investing in a future where our individual and collective decisions are made less from the dense shadow frequencies of fear and suffering, and more from the lighter frequencies of joy and love. So, happy contemplating. This video represents episode 1 of the LoveJoy LoveCast. And if this conversation is interesting to you in any way, then I welcome you. I hope you'll please stay tuned for future episodes. Until then, sending you love and light.